I think it was per your tip. I think like a few weeks ago you said, "Hey, why don't you do a playthrough of Borderlands 3?" People really enjoyed watching Let's Plays, and I
Yep.
wasn't streaming Borderlands 3, but I was playing it on my off time. And I realized, you know what, I should, even if I'm not gonna put my camera on because I'm so tired, or don't, jokingly said I don't want to put on my makeup, and that is kind of true. I don't really put on my makeup, but I put my game face on, so to speak.
Right.
So
Yep.
I think people want to see you enjoying yourself and when interacting with with them through the camera. And sometimes I'm just not in the mood to do that, honestly, so I just don't stream. But I think there is that audience, like you said, that doesn't actually want you to talk very much or to have the camera. They just want to watch the
Agreed.
gameplay. And so I need
Yep.
to start doing a little bit more of that, since I do play a lot of story driven games. That's my favorite.
I mean, it's funny, and you hear about this from other streamers too when they're talking about like understanding growth and like a lot of people will compare each other to different streamers to figure out like what are they doing wrong, like why is this guy gonna have such a huge audience while this other person doesn't, and he's not even talking that much, and like part of it is that you've got such a broad audience out there that each individual is looking for something different, and that's part of the reason why I always say like if you go out and do streaming, like you're going to get an audience no matter what. It takes time, and that audience is going to be different based on what people want to see and how they want to interact with that individual. So it's like you're going to have people who are more focused on just the content, and all they want to see is like like a story driven game. They want to see the story from the beginning to the end without very minimal interaction with the streamer themselves, and they're kind of like taking that on themselves as like, hey, I'm kind of watching a movie, right? But I'm not having to physically play this game. So there's definitely an audience for that. And then in my experience, I've done a couple of these kind of let's play type videos, and I've always noticed that like I'm not putting them out as a live stream. I usually just upload the video in like 1 or 2 hour blocks, and the viewership on those videos you'll see end up being a lot higher than even the regular streams, and it's kind of crazy because people just want minimal interaction. They just want to see the story. So I totally agree with you on that. I think there's a category of people that love that type of stuff. There's a category of people who like over the top kind of live streams where you've got people dressing up in costumes or putting up avatars of different people.
Yeah.
Another one that I've recently seen. Have you been seeing all those like animated characters based on like people's facial expressions and stuff like that? Like trying to remember. There's like a guy on Facebook that I see. He's basically like,
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
yeah, there's like I'm pretty sure it's like an OBS plugin, but I think you need to have a green screen to do it. But it's essentially like one of those like what do you call those like memojis that you have on like an iPhone, where you basically it takes your facial animations and just props it into a character, and I think that's pretty cool. Um, but I'm starting to see a lot of those, and that's also probably getting a little saturated too.